Yo, what's up? What's up, YouTube? It's Larry Turnbow, LJ Turnbow. I am out here in the beautiful Salvador, Bahia, Brazil. Here in the Stella Maris or Stella Maris Beach, Praia de Stella Maris. Here, let me go back like this. Show y'all. You can see the water a little bit. It's actually super early in the morning. The sun comes up very early here. It's like 6 o'clock. Or 6:15 or something. The sun come up super early, and it's a Sunday, so it's people out. See somebody back there. I don't know if you can see it. She modeling on the rocks. Can't really see it, but anyway, yeah, I want to give this talk out here on the beach. Matter of fact, let me go down here for a second. All right, I got me a good little spot down here on the beach. I wanted to see if I could get some, greenery and some water in here too. Let me see. Can't zoom with this camera, but a couple people out here. But anyway, yeah, so to the topic. I wanted to give my unpopular opinion about spending your life trying to create legacy and generational wealth. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't do it or it's a bad thing to do. I'm just kind of offering an alternative viewpoint, just being a contrarian a little bit, thesis, antithesis, synthesis, when you are able to look at the opposing side of something, you could come to new conclusions. But I got a little piece of paper here to just make sure I don't hit these key or miss some key points while I'm rambling. So to start off, okay, so I think that trying to get people to remember you after you die is a virtually impossible thing to do. And yet, that's the name of the game with legacy and that's the whole name of the game, right? Of your adult life, doing stuff so that people can remember you after you're gone, even though that's damn near, from my observation, an impossible thing to do. Now, I'm from Detroit, so the people from Detroit, the biggest name to ever come out of Detroit, who lived the capitalist dream, was Henry Ford, right? That was the early 1900s. He long gone. We about 7-8 generations away from him. And his family still got money. They still, Henry Ford hospital system. They damn near built out the whole city of Dearborn. The historic Boston Edison district in Detroit. A big part of that was him building that up because he wanted his executives to live there. They own the Detroit Lions, Ford Field, the stadium that they play at. So that is the capitalist ideal, right? But it's kind of been proven though that wealth usually doesn't stay in a family for more than 3 generations, right? The first generation gets it, the second one mismanages it, and then the third just outright loses it, right? Because they didn't have to go through the same challenges and obstacles to get it, so they don't necessarily appreciate it the same way. And that's a known thing. Like the Vanderbilts, it's a college named after them. Anderson Cooper is actually a Vanderbilt, but they don't have money like they used to. It's not. Let me see. 3 generations lose it. It's not like what it used to be, man. It's not as much of a, this idea that, oh, my kids, gonna be good. A nice ideal. Very few people have ever or will ever achieve that. Again, I'm not saying don't go for it though. You might be the one. But you spend your whole life not doing things you want to do or just sacrificing endlessly. We got to make sacrifices for something, but sacrificing endlessly for something that is really not likely to happen. Let me pause here real quick. People rolling through. So there's that, man. And that feeds into the next one, which is absolutely nothing in this life is guaranteed. We like to delude ourselves, or it's just an illusion that anything is guaranteed or promised, right? Oh, if I make a bunch of wealth, my kids might be good. Bro, your kids might get that shit and just blow it all, right? Or here's another thing, right? I need to have sons and daughters pass my name on. My grandfather had 5 kids, all girls. So he was fruitful and multiplied. He left a legacy through children, but none of them have his last name, right? In spite of, just a little bit here, in spite of him you know, having a bunch of kids, you can't guarantee your gender, right? He had 5 and it was all girls, so it's nobody with his last name. Or it is, right? His last name was Curry. It's other people in the world named Curry, but not through him. So, you know, I want my legacy and my name to live on. You might not have no sons. That's not guaranteed. A kid could die before you, God forbid, but it happens. You know, you could die in the process of whatever you're doing. There's people who work their whole life saving up for retirement, and then you drop dead before you even get to retirement. So, you know, that's another thing, man. Absolutely nothing is guaranteed. And here's another one too, when it comes to family and multiple generations down the line. I did a 23andMe DNA test, right? And, you know, I know people gonna talk shit. Oh, you shouldn't do this, not real, blah, blah, whatever. All right, look, that's a whole nother discussion. I did one, right? And it'll tell you on there, oh, you have new relatives, people that are related to you just joined, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So it was somebody who they said I most likely shared a great grandparent with. I ain't know this person. Most likely shared a great grandparent with them. And we had 3 to 4% DNA. That's it. So you go from great grandparent to, so grandparent, 1 generation, parent, 2 generations, you, me, right, 3 generations. And from that one person, you go down 3 generations down the tree, we got 3% DNA at that point. We ain't even really family, like for real, you know, what's 3%? That ain't nothing, you know what I'm saying? Think about, like, you got cousins who you kind of close to, right? And you might have kids and then your cousin have kids. How well do y'all kids even really know each other? They might be just as close as y'all, but it's possible, you know, with every generation you get spread out a little bit more. How well do they even know each other, man? So, like, I'm just trying to say, your genes kind of get reinvested back into everything and diluted. Like, it's not how people make it. Like 3, 4, 5 generations down the line, it's just an exact replica of you. Like, bro, we didn't mix in with so many people at this point. It's kind of diluted. You know, you are your own individual person, and all your offspring and people who carry on from there will be too. So just something to consider. Nothing is guaranteed. Also, here's another thing. A lot of people who do achieve the capitalist dream of building generational wealth, spent their whole life doing it, they're not giving their money to their kids. It's so many rich people who put their money in an irrevocable trust, and when they die, it all goes back to charity. You know, a lot of the tycoons, Andrew Carnegie did that. I remember watching a documentary with Warren Buffett. He fell out with one of his granddaughters or something, like she's getting nothing. Damon John made it clear, like, I worked for this. I'm not giving this shit to my kid. Y'all not getting this. Bill Gates donating the vast majority of his shit to charity. So, you know, his children, you know, receive benefits in the here and now while he alive from him having that money and how they was able to grow up and how they were raised. But, you know, they're not just gonna inherit that shit. So people who do achieve that dream, I'm not gonna say a lot or most, but there's a significant number who don't even give the money to their kids. Like, you know, you didn't go through what I went through to get this, so I'm not giving it to you. So yeah, man, I just think that an alternative to that is spending your whole life trying to get people to remember you. Not that that's a bad thing, or to leave something behind. Not that that's a bad thing either. And it's easier ways you could do that, right? You don't have to necessarily give your kids a $100 million real estate empire for them to be ahead of the curve, right? You could just start putting some money away in the stocks and let compound interest work for them in their favor before they are even smart enough to know to do the thing, right? Most people would be good if they started at 18. You start when they're a child, and by the time they even old enough to even do the thing themselves, it's already been building for 18 years. You know, you can give your kids a 100K plus head start, which is more than 99% of people get. But the alternative to that is, instead of spending your whole life trying to acquire things, or, you know, working and slaving away for the acquisition of things, life can be more about the experience, you know? It can be more about the experience of life. You actually just investing in the very, very short amount of time that you're gonna be here on this flying rock, you know, that's going through space, that, you know, been here for 1 billion years, 4 billion years, gonna be here for some more billion. And, you know, when you, in the grand scheme of things, you know, the person that's doing the most right now and the person that's doing the least, man, 100 years from now, people gonna kind of remember them the same, which is not at all, you know? So life can be about the experience, you know, something like this, you know, coming out to a beautiful place like this. Not that you can't build wealth and legacy and still do things like this, but, you know, I just want to put it in some people's minds though, like, you can, we about to fall. You can enjoy your life now. Like, it really ain't no rules to this shit, man. It really ain't no rules to this life shit. You supposed to do this, you supposed to do that. Everybody got a cookie cutter process for how you supposed to live and what you supposed to be doing from the time you born to the time you die. This what you supposed to be doing at these ages, at this time. And I mean, you could live your whole life just doing what was laid out for you from the time you was born. Or you can, you know, just kind of forge your own path to a certain degree. Or maybe to a large degree. You know, it's just, it's more to see, it's more to do, man. So I'm not saying don't leave wealth behind for your kids. And if you got some, for sure. And I don't have none, but if/when I have some, for sure I'm gonna leave some. But like I said, you can start putting money away from the time they born. And then, you know, when they hit 21 to 25, they got a stock account that's been rocking and rolling for 20 years already. Right? And then, you know, teach them a little wisdom about how to manage that and grow that. And I mean, they got a head start bigger than what most people will ever have. And that doesn't require you to just sacrifice your entire life and everything you're trying to do. It just requires you to be diligent from the time they born and consistent. Right? And, you know, we all, you know, trust fund babies had people who were smart enough to do that for them. Most of us don't get that though, but yeah, man, I make these videos for me just as much as I do for y'all, and you know, to be thought-provoking, just because when I have a reoccurring thought in my head, I need to get it out. You know, I make these videos, I send it out into the universe, and I clear up space in my mind for other things. So that's what so many, if you go back down through my videos, I think my oldest one is 6 years ago. It truly was that. My first video was me just getting out of my head what was in there, what constantly kept playing. And hopefully somebody else can get some benefit from it. And if not, hey, whatever, I got something off my chest. But so yeah, man, that's my talk for today. I'm living my life. You know, the Wu Wei principle, you know, you achieve by not doing. A person who is not concerned with leaving legacy at all and just living a life, ironically, will be the person end up who leave one of the biggest legacies. So yeah, man, I'm just out here living my life in Brazil, enjoying myself, having fun. I'm on the beach in the morning, and I hope that y'all doing whatever y'all gotta do for y'all to make the most of your human experience of this very, very, very short time you have on planet Earth, where absolutely nothing is guaranteed. And yeah, you know, that's the biggest thing. Like, just don't fall into that illusion. Ain't nothing promised to you but death and taxes, as they say. So do what y'all gonna do, man. Ain't no rules to this life shit. Let's see if I can get it this way. Do what y'all gonna do, man. Enjoy yourself. It's the outro shot.